Let's look at a couple of military-themed Gideon Bibles. Hello everyone. I want to look today at a military-themed, a very interesting military-themed Gideon Bible that I found recently at my nearby Mennonite thrift. And I have another military-themed Gideon here for reference. I'm going to set that aside for now. That one was handed out at our county fair to everyone in attendance, pretty much, some years back during a particularly high tide moment in patriotism, I assume. I'm recording this in the month of July. I'm not certain when it'll be released. But July, of course, is the month in which we find our most patriotic holiday, I suppose. You can probably hear the lawnmowers going outside. It is indeed July, and that's what you have. I'm going to make this quick because I have the airco off so I can hear myself recording. This Gideon is some kind of a faux leather. It has the Gideon emblem that is still the same in Bibles today, although it's somewhat embossed on this older version and just printed on the newer New Testament and Psalms. The newer ones include Proverbs, usually. It has kind of these fake ribs. The size and shape is standard Gideon fare. They've kept that consistent over the years and decades. But what's so interesting about this one to me, don't know if you'll be able to see this on the video. Copyright 1941, National Publishing Company. This is the 1942 edition, boldface vest pocket, pronouncing, manufactured in the USA. 1942 edition. Copyright 1941. Of course, we know what was going on then. And if you didn't know, there's a something in the front that will jog your memory. I'm just going to read this. The White House, Washington, January 25th, 1941. To the Armed Forces. As Commander-in-Chief, I take pleasure in commending the reading of the Bible to all who serve in the armed forces of the United States. Throughout the centuries, men of many faiths and diverse origins have found in the sacred book words of wisdom, counsel, and inspiration. It is a fountain of strength, and now, as always, an aid in attaining the highest aspirations of the human soul. Very sincerely yours, Franklin D. Roosevelt. January 25th, 1941, President Roosevelt was less than a year away from Pearl Harbor and our entry into the Pacific Theater and the European Theater of World War II. So I imagine this being the 1942 edition, they were ramping up production of this particular Gideon Bible with the President's address at the beginning, in the same way that appliance factories and automobile factories and every factory you can imagine was switching to production of armaments and the like, airplanes and jeeps and tanks and ammunition, and pencil manufacturers having to make their ferrules out of plastic because all the metal was going to the war effort. There's some things in here that are maybe unique to this military issue. The Lord's Prayer is found in a lot of Gideon Bibles. There's well-loved hymns, the first of which, Onward Christian Soldiers. You don't see that much in hymnals or anywhere these days. That is not one of the hymns they've chosen for the well-loved hymns in this more modern Gideon. Rock of Ages, Abide with Me, Lead Kindly Light, Nearer My God to Thee, etc. We do have the national anthems. But that's also in this military Gideon. My country, 'tis of thee, and the Star-Spangled Banner, with all the verses that nobody ever sings because they don't sing them at baseball games. There is a note in the back that I found interesting from the Gideon Society to the recipient of this Bible. Your chaplain. Look up your chaplain at the first opportunity. Your welfare is his first concern, and you will find him friendly and helpful at all times. His counsel and advice will guide you in avoiding or overcoming difficulties. In many ways, you can help him in his service for others. A close friendship between a chaplain and his men preserves and promotes a fine spirit in any service unit. The Gideons. This one has, as I mentioned, not the Proverbs after the Psalms, but between the book of Revelation and the Psalms, there is a harmony of the Gospels. I don't know that I've seen that in other Gideons. That's something that hasn't been kept, I don't think, as part of your standard Gideon. That's kind of neat to have, although I'm imagining someone on the battlefield trying to sort out this 1942 edition is, of course, in the Authorized Version or the King James Version. This is in the New King James. So a pattern that continues to this day. I actually don't know if the military still allows Gideons to hand out pocket-sized New Testaments. I don't know if that is still a thing. I imagine it was part of their kind of authorized kit that they were getting during the war years in the 40s. I'm sure not the case now, not standard issue, but maybe the military still has allowances to permit the Gideons to come in and distribute to those who are interested. Anyway, just wanted to share that interesting find. Little piece of history, a big piece of history with that address from the president that you likely would not see in a Gideon Bible today. Fascinating to me. Thanks for looking through this interesting historic Gideon Bible. Hope to see you here again next time.